We have this breaking news to share as a COVID case caused by the South African variant has been identified now in Maryland. The strain is now known to be in 2 states, while the UK variant has been reported in 31 states, the Brazil strain in 1. MSNBC senior medical correspondent Dr. John Torres is joining me right now. Dr. John, always good to have you. Can you explain, first of all, what exactly is a variant?
And Alex, this is the biggest question I get because we keep talking about variants, and a variant is basically a change in the virus that gives it some advantage. And if you look at the virus here, we have some graphics to show you. Basically, the virus has these spikes on the end of it. When the virus duplicates itself, it does 2 copies, then it does 3 copies, and then it does 4 copies. Well, along that duplication, one of the copies turns into a mistake. Sometimes that mistake is an advantage, like what we've seen here. And when it becomes advantageous to the virus, it becomes less advantageous to us and more dangerous to us. And right now, there's those 3 variants we're talking about that have gone through that change, Alex.
Okay. So what are the main variants that we should be concerned about?
So the big ones we've heard about for a while is the B.1.1.7. That was one that was initially discovered in the UK. Right now, unfortunately, here in the United States, it is a virus that has spread over more than half the states we have here in the U.S. And by some estimates, by March, it's going to become the dominant virus in the United States. And then you talk about the B.1.351. That's a virus that was originally detected in South Africa. Now, the issue with this virus is we know it's more contagious, but we also think it could be more dangerous. Problem is that has now come to the United States as well. And as of earlier today, we have cases in South Carolina, 2 cases, and then 1 case in Maryland. The concern is none of these people are related. None of these people traveled. So we think there might be community spread. And then the last one is the P1 variant. This one comes out of Brazil. We have 1 case of that in Minnesota right now. Again, this is somebody who traveled, so we're not sure about community spread in that case. But if this community spread starts happening with these ones that are a little more dangerous, then we could have some issues.
So do we know if these variants are more dangerous?
So that's part of the problem. We don't really know exactly what we're seeing right now with these variants because of the way the viruses act. So if you look here on the virus itself, you see these proteins, the E, the S, the M proteins. These are the spike proteins you keep hearing people talk about. And what these proteins do is over time they can change, they can mutate. If they mutate enough to give them an advantage, then that becomes the variant we talk about. And the advantage they get, what these spike proteins allow them to do is basically a lock key type mechanism. So this is the key that locks into our cell and lets the virus get inside the cell. If that lock is a better fitting lock, it can get in there easier, it can attach longer, and the virus can get in stronger. And so we know that some of these are adapting that spike protein to the point where it can do just that, Alex, and that's a concern.
What about vaccines then? Do they work against the new variants?
Well, right now it's kind of a mixed picture of the vaccine. The one we know about mostly is the Pfizer vaccine because that one was just recently tested and tested down in South Africa. Like you can see here in the U.S., 72% effective in the U.S., but that's effective at preventing severe disease and death. And then you only have 57% effectiveness in South Africa. If you look at Novavax, that's another one that's coming down the pipe here, and we expect it to be around pretty soon. That's less than 50% effective against the South African variant. And then we go to Pfizer and Moderna, and we simply really don't know hard facts about Pfizer and Moderna because they're looking at it now. They've looked at it in the lab. They're going to start looking at it in people out in the communities. Studies are ongoing, so we'll know pretty soon. But they look like they're effective. We just don't know how effective they're going to be.
Well, listen, people are wondering, what can I do to protect myself against the variants? I mean, are there things that experts are saying?
And that's the biggest question. And the biggest thing people can do is obviously get the vaccine, but on top of that, you want a mask. And one of the best masks, a surgical mask. There's blue ones, there's white ones. They're 3-layer masks, and so they really help out. Now, cloth masks can work as well, but you want to make sure there are 2 or 3 layers, and those are fairly thick layers. And the best way you can tell that is shine a light through that mask. If you can see the light very easily shine through the mask, then you want to go ahead and probably double mask at that point. Not everybody needs to, but it could certainly help. And then don't forget to wash your hands. That's exceptionally important. That 20 seconds of hand washing can really help get this under control and really help make sure that we don't spread this virus, because if it doesn't spread, it doesn't get a variant. If it doesn't get a variant, then we don't have the issues we're talking about, Alex.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.